Welcome to Mercy's Designs. My name is Mercy and I sell Stampin' Up! Products. In today's tutorial, I would like to show you how I made this card using butterfly wishes and silhouette scenes along with the sweet silhouette dies. So this is a bridge card, as you can see, and I thought it would be really fun to use this set for this and have this tree going over, hanging over and look like it's kind of floating. So I'll show you a little bit about that. So what I did was, of course, I die cut it out and then I backed it on vellum, and there will be a little more trimming when we set it, but for now I'll leave it like that. And here is my template for the bridge card, and this is the inner bridge. So this goes between. Okay, so you will need your stamping trimmer, and what I like doing here is first of all, I cut it at 6 1/4 by 5 1/2, so there's very little waste, and then I brought in my trimmer and scored at 1 inch. So I'm scoring, flip it over, score again at 1 inch, and then I work my way over. So 2 inches, and flip this around and do 2 inches. So that's the scoring, very straightforward. So I will bring, oh, I don't have, okay, so how this is burnished, which I forgot my bone folder, which is pretty bad actually, but we'll just try to make do, is like this. So, oh, I was starting to go the wrong way. So it's valley and then mountain. So this is kind of your base. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my DSP. I do have a list of some of what I put in here, but I will also say what I have, what went into the card in the comments below. So if you are curious about that. Okay, so here is our beautiful DSP, and it's kind of beautiful and wild, this whole set, some of it, but this is a little bit more muted, except for that splash. And with my first card, I used this side, and this one I thought I would just flip it. Both are really beautiful. So I'm just gonna go ahead, add this, and I didn't leave much of a border, which was intentional. And using the wet glue allows you to just wiggle it in place. So I like that. And then I will do a little bit of stamping. So to stamp on, I am using the Seaside spray. So what you do is, here's our stamp, and I'm just gonna get a little bit of paper here to protect our surface. Just run the embossing buddy over it, and here's a scrap I had used earlier. So you just want to take your Versamark and make sure it's well inked, which it is. And then I'm just going to try to put this in so I can maximize the use of my paper. Okay, so there the girl is on the swing. And next I will bring in, this is a brand new shimmer black embossing powder that Stampin' Up! Is now offering, and it's really cool for this whole stamp set. I made an anniversary card earlier, and I used this shimmer paper. Shimmer embossing powder. So you'll want to have a brush and brush that off. And I'm not going to show the heat gun and all that because I did fussy cut this out, so I don't want to take the time to do that. And so through the magic of TV, here we have it. And we will keep assembling the card. So here is the little inner bridge part, and this will hold, the little girl will be on top of this, And this is very cool because it makes her look more like she's floating, as opposed to when you just, if it was a solid one, it would take away. I mean, this is somewhat transparent, the paper, being vellum. So, and it's actually quite sturdy. What I'd like to do is just bring it over here and then just try to make it straight. Make sure I get it straight here. Oh, okay. And I'm just going to set it down on it, and so it'll pick it up on its own. Next, I'm going to do this side, and for this side, I'm going to do the same thing, essentially. I'm going to just bring this bridge over, and there we have it. And it appears I have a little bit of that embossing powder. Okay, so there we have it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is kind of float this. And I also wanted to point out that I extended the rope here, and I used my stamping journaling marker, the thick part, and colored that. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, but the whole girl isn't going to fit on it. A little bit of her head and the rope, if you will not be adhered. But I'm not concerned about that. There's really plenty to hold it in place. And so hopefully it won't get any abuse, but again, I'm not too concerned. So I just want to hold her in place, and I'm going to go ahead and think about where I want that to end up. So I think that looks pretty good. And if it doesn't hold there, I can come back in with the glue dot and add it under her hair. But I think it's pretty good. Okay, so now this part. And I would recommend using some glue dots for this part. So just get your little glue dots and think about where it's going to end up. So it's going to end up on these branches. Obviously, you don't want it in the center. So I'm going to just add some here. I think this is a really fun card, and I hope you'll give it a try. I love this idea of having the tree limb over the girl, but if you have it on a regular card, you don't get that full effect, I feel like. So now I'm going to use a little tear and tape on the branch itself. And hopefully I didn't cut too much. Okay, so I will probably add a few more glue dots after the fact. And glue dots are very easy to do that with, I find. At least I do it all the time. Whether it's a good idea or not, that remains to be seen. Okay, so here we have it. And because this is a bridge card, I'm just going to put it flat, as flat over here as possible. Okay, and as you can see, this branch is too far. So what I'm going to do is just give it a little haircut. With my first one, I went in and kind of tried to trim it so it wouldn't look chopped off. And you can do that too. But for this one, we're going to just try it this way. It would be nice if we could fit it without chopping, but in order to fit this in an envelope, sometimes that sort of thing is necessary. Okay, so here we have our card now, and it's now we just have to finish decorating it, and I think it's going to hold pretty well. I did kind of like how I trimmed up my first one a little bit. It's less obvious, but you can play around with that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and keep assembling. I did stamp ahead of time the little butterfly and a couple things. Here is my Keep Dreaming. And this is a retired punch. This is the 1 1/4, but many of you I'm sure already still have this punch, or you can always use the layering circles die. And then this Scalloped 1 3/8. This one's still around, offered in the annual catalog. Okay, so we're just going to quickly layer this on. And again, this is a more purplish blue, opposed to the balmy blue, and I kind of like it better. It kind of goes with this background better, I feel like. And so this one, I'm thinking maybe I will put down here in this corner just to do something a little different, because I like trying different things, and I think it's a good idea to keep kind of pushing yourself, if you will, artistically, and just see what, you never know. Sometimes you like it better and sometimes you don't like it as well. So, all right, so here is our little butterfly, and I'm going to just put that up in there, right over there. And here's our flower. And this is also from the Butterfly Wishes. Oh, I did not mean to get the glue out. I was catching myself as I was doing that. Okay, so here we're going to have this, but I want to make sure that I don't go over the edge there. And let's see where, yeah, I already stamped these leaves, and I kind of stamped them kind of closely so that it looks like they're two petals or two leaves kind of together. Kind of like that look. Very easy to do. I just did a lot of the stamping ahead because I didn't want to make this video too long. But I think it's pretty cool, this card. I really enjoy these fun folds. I think they're a lot of fun, no pun intended. Okay, so here is our back side, and I'm going to stamp this greeting, love to celebrate you. And this is, of course, from the Butterfly Wishes. So I'm just going to, sorry about my head, try to get it straight. And this is a little piece of the DSP. So we got two sides, and I'm just going to add this here. One of the things you have to be concerned about with the, actually I'm going to leave a little white border. When you are using the distinctive stamps, not to have something over inked. So if you have it over inked, it will bead up, and then you know it's over inked. So what I like to do is just take a spoon and push down, and it pushes the ink in. If it's a lighter stamp color, you'll see that it's being pushed in, but this dark, rich raspberry, you do not see as much. So that's what it looks like, and I probably shouldn't have tapped that much, but we'll see. Okay, it's not too bad. It might be a slightly over inked because I probably shouldn't have tapped more than once or twice. Okay, so this is our back, and then I can write a little bit of a greeting. Of course, it's not a lot of space, but I think sometimes it's plenty. And this card is really great to display. That's the beauty of this type of fun fold, and it fits in the envelope, which I will show you in a sec how it condenses. It's, of course, most of you probably already know about how it condenses with this fun fold. Okay, so let's get this on straight. And this is the same measurement as the DSP was. So I do not know if I wrote that down. I guess I didn't write the DSP measurement, but I'll have it again in the comments below. So again, this is my templates that I like using. I'm sorry I don't have the DSP measurement there. And here's our card. And to mail it, you just condense it like this, and this should fit in a standard envelope. So I'll just bring in my little tape measure here, and you can see this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what do you guys think? I think it's really a cute card. We'll bring in the original, and it's very similar, of course, the color scheme, but I kind of prefer Granny Apple Green. It's a little more bright and cheerful, so I do like that part better. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any stamping needs, please email me at mewants3@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to help you place the order with the host code. If you liked this tutorial and found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And thanks again for watching, and happy stamping.